Hi, this is Basil Green speaking, and I am speaking to you from my new old place of home business. And I want to share 7 lessons that I learned when I went for my first business meeting with a potential client after I became an entrepreneur. Now, the meeting happened 7 years ago. As you can see here, I started this business in 2014. I know you can't see my face, but my voice is good enough. So I've been doing this since 2014, and I picked up some lessons from my first business meeting. At the time, my knowledge wasn't as much as it is right now. But I believe as you take the lessons, you will learn something very, very important, and you will also be able to avoid some of the pitfalls that I experienced as I came out of that business meeting. So the first lesson that I received when I was invited for that meeting came about before I had to go to the meeting. So that's where it started. I was coming back from church, a meeting from a church during the week, and I met up with an old friend, I would say. At the time, I considered him an old friend, and he asked me like, "Hey, what are you up to?" You know, we usually do that with people we haven't seen in a long time. And I understood the question, so I told him that no, I'm busy at the church. I was leading at the time. I was doing other things, and I told him no, I plan on opening up a business. And he said, when you are ready, contact me. So it took me really about a year to get back to him, so that I can let him know what is it that I wanted. So when I got back to him, I did not do one thing, and this is the first lesson I learned, was to ask around. There were a few suggestions thrown around by the guys that I knew in the community, and it was like 1 or 2 guys, but I should have done further searching. You know, if you do not see somebody for a couple of years, you need to find out where the person is in their own journey in life, because we might leave people at a certain state, and when we find them in a few years time, we find out that they no longer are those people, or they are still the very same kind of people. So the guy that invited me was a person that I had worked with. He was the CEO of a company called Broader Equity, and his name was Ashton Hurzuk. So I knew him personally, and we had an experience with him, you know, with the call center closing down. The guys were upset, many people were upset. The story was even in the paper, but I also mentioned this in my book if you want to read further. However, one of the things that I didn't do was that to go back and verify. Why? Because of the way he was speaking, and he practically built rapport. He must have found out that I was working with young people, and that I go and I talk to young people a lot, and he started talking about that topic, and I realized afterwards that my guard was down, you know, and I kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt. Why? Because of the way he was talking, and he even made reference, you know, a couple of us in our community have lost friends, and quite a few of us are no longer around, and he did mention things like that, and I kind of built rapport with him, and he invited me, gave me his business card, and I lost the business card. And when I went and find out from his mother, his mom gave me the number because she knew who I was. But I also asked one of his family members, like, where is he? You know, but one of the things I did not do was to ask around from other people as to where is this person in their own developments, you know. because the last time we actually really had a meaningful conversation or we sat around each other was just prior after 2008 or in between that period, but it had been quite a long time since I had spoken to him. So one of the things you need to do as an individual, if you're going to be going out for business meeting, but whatever it is, we make connections, we do stuff, and we meet people we haven't met after many years. And when we find out from other people, it's called due diligence. I know accountants do that. They do their due diligence a lot. So one of the things I neglected was to do my due diligence on my old friend, but had not seen him for a while. So what ended up happening was that I went to the meeting without really doing much due diligence. And the reason why I'm saying this here is you're gonna find out along the video why I am saying this here, because something happened that I did not expect was going to happen. I trusted and I gave the benefit of the doubt, and there were things that were done probably to make me actually believe and trust. So on my part, I was to blame. I needed to actually do my background check a little bit more as to where the person is in his personal development. And I believe many of us need to do that as individuals, even if you're not going into business. If you're going to be recommending a person, or an old friend comes and especially with old friends, an old friend comes and they ask for help. Yes, we want to help that old friend, but it doesn't hurt to just pick up the phone and speak to a couple of people that could be still in that person's life to find out where are they in terms of their personal development. How is their character at the moment? What changes have this guy experienced? Why? Because you don't want to be putting yourself in a position where you are going to regret actually going and have that meeting that you had been invited to, or you don't want to regret actually assisting somebody that could potentially put you in a position that is very difficult. Fortunately for me, I never end up in any trouble. I just had a lesson that I experienced or I had learned as a result of neglecting to do this one very important principle. The second lesson that I have for you was something that I picked up in hindsight. It's a very important sales principle that you need to also apply. Most salespeople have to apply this as well. Number 2 is you need to prepare how you're going to lead a conversation. At the end of the day, you need to be the one asking the right questions. You need to be directing the conversation so that you can come to a final answer, which is you closing the deal when you walk away from that conversation, or you want to leave your potential client with the impression that you are the right person for the job. For me, I didn't have that sense. I'm a little bit hard on myself. I felt that afterwards I didn't really ask the right questions, especially since after I had that conversation, I went and do more research as to how I should go about having business meetings. I just kept talking about my company instead of asking the customer about their problems. What is the pressing need in the organization, and then speaking into that need, giving the customer assurance that I am the right person to solve that problem. However, I believe that I could have landed the deal but there were certain things that may have hindered me as well. It could have been external, and also could have been my own internal experience also that I was having at the moment when I was speaking with this potential client. However, I felt that I did give them enough information, and I did send them an email in the beginning. First, Ashton, I sent the email, and then the person that called me was Lizelle. She said she got all the information from Ashton about me, and I do have the emails, but hopefully you will get a chance to see it as you're watching this video. But the main thing that you also need to do is have a way or a plan that you are going to be able to lead a conversation. I came across a book on consultative selling, and it really revolutionized my mind, and it has assisted me in the way I do my sales right now, especially since I am dealing with mainly corporate customers and also individuals. So it has assisted me, and it kind of gives me a process that I'm going to use in order to lead the customer to the end result that I want to have. However, nothing is guaranteed, but there is a way you can increase your chances of landing that sale, so that you can be the number one person over there. But this is not the only thing that you need to do. Remember that you also have to do other things, which I'm gonna speak to you about in the next lesson, in the next lesson that I picked up. So always have a plan as to how you're going to lead the conversation. Yes, nothing is going to be set in stone, but have a plan as to how you are going to address the customer, or how are you going to build credibility in the eyes of the customer as you and that person is having the meeting. So I'm going to share some other things that I experienced after I walked away from the meeting, and I believe it's very important as we are trying to get customers as business owners, and I will assure you that you are going to be transformed by the information that I have to share. Number 3, it's important to get feedback after you've been to the meeting, especially if you know you are interested in moving your relationship forward with your client. At the end of the day, we're not just having meetings. Time is money, and that time that you spend presenting your business to that potential client needs to be maximized in profits. So at the end of the day, you must go home with the sale. Unfortunately for me, I never go home with the sale. So I never even get feedback from the people after I sent them a message just to say thank you for granting me the opportunity to have a meeting with them, and never get no response email. I spent some time afterwards searching for a way to learn how to do business. That is when I joined the Shanduka Black Umbrellas, and I was able to get put into the program where I was starting to learn. And during that time, I did try to get hold of Lizelle and even Ashton. I sent him another proposal because I had not known at the time why exactly they did not get back to me. And when I phoned Lizelle, she actually laughed at me. I thought, oh, what is going on here? And I'd already sent the sponsorship proposal. Now on the sponsorship proposal, there was other things included on there, and I wanted to take that money and use it to actually provide free training to the people that I am targeting. So I never ever got feedback on that as well. What ended up happening, the only feedback I got was from a young man in 2017 who came and tell me that they were given money to go and do motivational speaking, and the money was given by somebody else that was hired by Ashton, and that person was given this project to go and motivate young people at the school. But when I also looked at their website, I found that a couple of weeks or months later, I went back onto their website. It wasn't looking the same as it was before I had sent them the proposal, and I found that they were partnering with people. It looked like they received sponsorship from other companies, and I didn't know what to do. I tried to find a way to actually get paid for the proposal, and try and find a way to prove that I had sent him that email, and it's possible that he had used my idea to actually enrich his company with money instead of helping me out when I sent him that proposal. But I had no way of doing that. I couldn't solicit any lawyer's help. I've been trying for a couple of years to try and find a way to do that. And I even spoke to a lawyer, and he even said it's going to be very, very difficult for him to actually assist me with that request. But some people won't be happy I'm speaking about this experience like it's not going to help anybody else. I'm one of many people that has been through challenges like this, and I felt that this is a season for me to actually do one of these videos where I can assist some of you who are going to be going out there to look for work in your business, and you need to be prepared for individuals like this. And especially since I'm a person that has committed myself to go out and help individuals, so I'm not out there to destroy, I'm not out there to break down, I'm not out there to do harm to people. At the end of the day, I want to help people, and I believe that he did use it based on the information that I received afterwards, and I believe that he did get some money as a result of using the proposal that I had given to him. I have been trying to find a way to actually get the evidence, especially since I was using Shanduka Black's umbrellas as computer, and I remember I sent the email from that computer. I no longer have that website. At the time, the website was www.motivatecoachtrain.co.za, and my email address was also from that website, attached to that website. So one of the ways I thought maybe I can get that information from Shanduka Black Umbrellas' computer. But in order for me to do that, I need a lawyer, and I need some kind of court order or something to be able to do that. It's quite a lot of work, but when I was looking at Ashton's profile recently, I had seen that it's written on one of the websites that is talking about his life and the achievements that is gained at the companies that he has worked at. And one of the things said that he had attracted like a lot of money, like millions of rands to the company that he was working for. I will play that thing for you. I screenshot it, and you can see for yourself. But one of the things that you need to be able to do is get feedback. It's very important. It's very, very, very vital for you as an individual to be able to get that kind of feedback, so that your company might not suffer some loss. But if you don't get it, it's one of those things. And next, I'm going to tell you what to do so that you you can be able to make a decision afterwards. You have to make a choice as to what you're going to do if you are in a situation like mine. Everybody makes different choices based on the vision that they have for their company. And for me, I want to help people produce success in the nation. And I believe if my gut feel is right, if my information is correct that I receive from other people is right, then it means that Ashton and the company that he was working for and that lady Lizelle is not good for the nation. Why? Because these are the kind of individuals that I've heard about. I've spoken to quite a number of people that have been through similar situations as me, and I've also seen it on the news and on TV, and it makes me wonder that if there's individuals like this in our economy or in the marketplace, then it means they're not good for what we want to achieve as a collective, because we are all out there trying to achieve success in our lives. And even as we are achieving success in our lives, trying to attain that success in our lives, we also want to contribute meaningfully to the economy. And if there's individuals like this that can do things like this to other people, then it means they are not good for us. We don't know how many other people they have tramped on. We don't know how many people they have deceived. We don't know how many people they have caused to actually give up. I'm one of those people that decided I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give in. Some would say you must just walk away from it. I believe that I serve a big God, and if I take the right action and I do the right things, then one way or another somebody is going to get assisted. Maybe I might not be able to stop him, but I might be able to protect you, who is going to go out and do the same things that I'm going to do. And you're going to avoid those problems. Why? Because you are hearing all of the stuff from me, and you will be able to do the necessary things that I've asked you to do in the beginning, and you might minimize your chances of going through the same thing that I have been through. And if you do go through it, you are going to be proactive as to how you're going to respond to that particular situation. Please excuse what's happening in the background and the noise that you're hearing. I am actually at my home-based business. You can see that it's not in the office space. I just put up the structure a couple of days ago, and it took me a couple of weeks to actually get the people to do it. This is my home-based business where I do stuff while I'm at home so that I can sell. So excuse that. I know you must be wondering, hey, what is that stuff in the back, and where is this man speaking from? I'm speaking from my home, and I decided that I'm gonna make this video in a place where it's familiar for some people, especially those that are trying to come up in life. So I decided to put up a wooden structure so that I can sell my printed t-shirts, my second-hand books. I do have my own books which you can download, but I've also got second-hand books that you can also come and buy, especially for the kind of market which cannot afford. That is not my target market, but I thought, hey, if I'm gonna help people come out of a particular place, then I can do that for other people who cannot afford to go and buy the original or the books that they've desire to buy. They can get a second-hand book which is good enough to read. The brand's name for the books is Good Enough Reads, so you will still be able to read that. I'm gonna share a story. Before I started out my business, I wasn't working. I had no money, and I was sitting at home, and I came across a place where I could go and buy books, second-hand books. And one of the books I read was Robert Kiyosaki's book, which actually transformed the way I think about money and business. And I've been working those principles for the past couple of years. And some of the things that I've learned, I try to implement, and I've had a lot of negative experiences. So I don't want to fill you with all of them. This is just one experience that I want to fill for you, especially if you're going to be a first-time person that is going to go out and look out for customers. So don't be afraid. At the end of the day, we are learning, and if you learn and you apply your new information that you come back with, and you build on the information that you have, you will become a person that is going to grow in the business world. So just be confident that whatever happens after you've been to that meeting with that potential client, you are going to come back a better person. Keep applying lessons, keep growing, keep doing what you have learned, and one day you are going to achieve the goals that you have set for yourself. So I'm going to head on to the next lesson, and you have to grasp this because I believe it's very important as well. So number 4, I would like to say you must keep monitoring. You must monitor the potential clients, especially if you've been in a situation like mine. I believe I'm also like a watchdog for the industry that I am playing in. I am in the education mainly. I educate people like what I'm doing right now, and I do have other things within my business where I leverage so that I can have more than one income stream. These are things I've learned and I'm applying them. I haven't given up. Why? Because I know it has worked for other people. I just have to find my way of doing it as well, not neglecting what I learned to it. So I believe certain things might slow you down, but you must not make them stop you. Remember that you can only allow it to slow you down. You go back and you go and keep fighting. So you have to monitor. One of the things I did afterwards, I kept monitoring what they were up to, so that I can see, okay, how can I, at first I want to exploit the opportunity of getting business from them, but I came across other information that I shared in the last lesson that I spoke to you about, which was that I found out that before I sent them the email with the proposal, their website was like normal, bland, no sponsorships, well, they call it partnerships, and they didn't have all of those things that they had after I'd sent them the sponsorship proposal. And the wording as well was also a little bit similar to what I had sent to them. Some of the stuff, even I left at Shanduka, you can generally identify when something is yours, and who has stolen it from you, who has taken it from you. But some of the stuff you can't actually prove. But even this case, I believe, even after I had been told that he had used some of the things that I had proposed to him, but I believe that it wasn't good what he had done, especially since I know the person. It's a little bit different if you don't know the person. You don't expect somebody that you know to actually do such an underhanded tactic. But it's in the past. I can only draw lessons from it, take that, use that learning to actually help other people. Now, there are a lot of positive things that have happened in my life as a result of me taking this decision of becoming an entrepreneur. But this one particular incident actually has shaped my view of the business world as well. And I needed to to implement certain things in my life as an individual. There are a lot of other things that have taken place. If you read my books, you will be able to find out all of the stuff that I've picked up. Some research comes through your own experiences, and some research comes from you implementing research principles, and some of the stuff is based on the experiences that I've had with other individuals. So I want to encourage you, just monitor the potential clients, especially if they don't get back to you, so that you can see what is it that they are doing, and are they actually implementing some of the stuff that you propose to them, so that you don't allow people to run around with this kind of mentality. Especially since if you are in South Africa, you can see our economy is doing bad. Unemployment is high. There are a lot of things going on in the marketplace, and you don't want to be another individual who's just going to let certain things go. If you decide to let it go, do it after you have tried to rectify the problem. For me, what I am doing now, especially since the guy that I spoke to, and the company that he was working for is an international company, an international call center, and he is connected to very high profile political people and business people. I could be putting myself in danger. But I did mention yesterday when I was preaching on my podcast, spoken word that I do on a Sunday, that I sometimes do things that could actually jeopardize my own life, so that I can help other people. But I know the Lord is my protector, and as many people as possible need to find out how they can actually avoid these things. There's a lot of sharks, you can say, opportunists. I thought I was going for a client, but I needed to identify first. I'm supposed to do the monitoring even before that, to see what is it that you were doing, so that I can collect as much information on this particular person. But I didn't do all of that. Why? Because of the connection that I had with him before he had approached me. It's somebody that I knew from the community that I grew up with. In fact, he lived quite a distance down the road from me. If you read my book, This Life Is Not For Me, I talk about the time where I was living in Pegasus Road in Ridge. So it's a little bit different if you're going to be meeting somebody that you already know, you've known for many, many years, and you don't expect these things to happen. But I'm not saying you must become suspicious of people. You should monitor at least to see what happens after that meeting, especially if you try to gain some feedback about the decision that they have made from the meeting that you had with them. Monitor them so that you can see what is it that they are doing, what type of projects that they are implementing after you've had that meeting. If you want to do something with the information, don't do it, but alert at least the right people that will do something about it. For me, I've spoken to quite a lot of people, and it hasn't really materialized. But because I do personal branding, I got my YouTube channel, I got my books. These are tools I also use to do my leadership, to become a responsible leader here in my nation, so that I can affect change. And even if it just gets one person to think differently about their leadership and how are they doing what they're doing when they're going out into the marketplace, even in their own personal lives, I have done something. I'm not doing this here to only make money. Yes, I'm in business so that my business can make a profit, I can employ people, and I can do the good things that I want to do in my life and for the lives of the people that I want to touch with the goodness that God has done for me. So it's important, monitor the person or the company that you've had a meeting with, so that you can identify. The providence of God, I believe, was on my side when that young man came to me to come and speak to me and let me know. Now, I'm not going to expose the young man. Why? Because it could jeopardize his opportunities in the marketplace. I have to think out the box as to find out exactly what is it that they are doing. I think like this. There are many people who the law is still chasing after them after 10, 15 years. Why? Because they are guilty. Now, I'm not talking about people that are not guilty, that are being harassed by these people that want to pin something on them. That's another story for another day. But you will find that they are being hunted down. Why? Because justice needs to be served. And I feel if I do not do the right things, I'm not going to develop a skill that is also important for me as a leader, where I have to go out and do something in the marketplace, the economy, or the workplace, not only in my nation, but in the nations that are outside of South Africa. So it's important to monitor what that person is doing. Now, if you got somebody and if you have the funds at hand, these guys don't come cheap. The guys, these like these private investigators who can hunt down people who have ran away with people's money. But for me, it was an idea pitched to them, and then once the idea was pitched, they still did not get back to me, and I found out after a while that they possibly did use it. Now it's for me to actually gather up the evidence in order to do something. If I decide, okay, I'm going to go after that money that is due to me. But for you, you can also think of what you're going to do after you have monitored a particular potential client. I don't do this here with all my clients, so I don't want you to get afraid. I don't do this here with all my clients. This wasn't a client for me, and I'm going to explain to you in the next video why I believe it wasn't a client for me. Why? Because this person had an agenda on their side, and in order to basically rob me of my hard work. I work hard. My siblings, or my mom, my father, and my younger sister was living with me when I started out my business. I was living at my parents' place, and they used to see sometimes I used to sit until 10, 11, 12 o'clock sometimes, and then I would be so stuck in my work I would forget to even eat. Why? Because I'm busy researching, trying to find things that will help these young people. I came out of being a youth leader at my local church, which was down the road from my mom and dad's place, and I put a lot of energy into this, and for it to just get taken and used by somebody else, it's not easy to just let it go. There's work that has been put in, and I feel that he is actually deceiving the people who he is trying to influence to become like him, because it's either he's lying to them as to how he achieved that level of leadership, and he's just an example of all the other people that we find in the marketplace who are thought leaders, who are leaders, who are actually doing these things and not telling the people that are following them, that look up to them, that admire them, that this is one of the things that they had to do. Or maybe they are teaching those people, and those people become like them, because it's a principle. A seed produces after its own kind. So if you are a tree and you are bearing fruit with seed in it, you are going to produce the same kind of fruit that you have produced. And in his case, the fruits that he has produced is deception, it has theft, and all of these other things that have taken place as a result of me having that meeting with him. And hopefully I will be able to prove that in the next coming days. Why? Because I want to make sure that when I leave this earth, the marketplace is going to be changed, my nation is going to be changed, and the nations of the world are going to be changed. I see a different future, a future where we are responsible leaders, a future where we are contributing to the success of the nation positively. Even criminals are successful because when a criminal goes out to go and do their criminal activity, they also want to succeed in that. So success might be there, but it's not positive success. Why? Because it's not contributing positively to the nation's economy. It might employ some people because the security guards that need to be there in order to protect those businesses, but it takes away from more people than it actually produces work for a number of people. I hope you get what I'm saying, because we have to monitor. I believe that, not in a bad way, not in a way where we are trying to find dirt on somebody. In my particular case, I was monitoring because I wanted to find out how I can get in there, and I ended up finding out that these people use my stuff. And I've encountered a lot of people that can boast, because they know certain people in the hierarchies of society, and they think they can get away with doing stuff like this here. I know it's an old story, but it's relevant for what we are encountering in the marketplace. I believe more and more people need to talk like this, but it's very hard, especially if it's somebody in a position of credibility. I mean credibility in a sense where they have authority in their marketplace or in their industry. They've done things, but many people don't know how they got some of those things done. Maybe he wasn't that person that did it to everybody, but there is a portion of people who have experienced the same things I have experienced. And when I was pondering on this particular lesson that I'm going to be bringing to you today, I was thinking about how certain sectors or certain groups of people actually reward such behavior, where you are initiated and you have to go and lie, you have to go and cheat, you have to go and steal or do something that is the opposite of good, which we will call evil, which is not good. And if that person succeeds, then they are rewarded for actually doing that. Now, I don't want to go into too much spiritual stuff. This is something that I've learned in the church world from people that came out of this kind of life, and I talk about it in my book Solid Ground, my testimony. I talk about that, my observations that I've learned about from the knowledge that I received when I was reading stuff about Satanism and the occult and Freemasonry and all of these things. So you can go and download that book. You are going to pay for it, but I'm trusting that you are going to do that. And when you buy it, don't go and duplicate it and send it to as many people. Why? Because that is my hard work. If you've written a book yourself, you'll understand how much work goes into writing a book. So please honor that as well. Why? Because I am trying to also make my life better. And if I can make more resources, I can reach more and more people here in the world. And I hope you will also be able to do that, because we want to change the world. Remember that I am going to help you reach the world by using communications as a tool to actually show the world your leadership, so that you can influence the nation that you are in. It's not normal for people to come out like that, but I felt that this is a direction I'm going to take, so that one person's action can be a ripple effect. So if the masses of us are doing small things, if I'm an individual right now talking on this video, and if I reach 1 million people and 50% of those people actually impact their sphere of influence, that is something big. So that is what we are trying to achieve. There are approximately 8 billion people. Now, I'm not talking to only 8 billion people. I'm talking to the generations after that as well. This is the mind that we have to have also, that whatever we are doing, we are not doing it to the people now, but we are doing it to the generation. Now, many people don't care about what I'm saying, and that is okay. But the people who care, and the people who want to do the things that will cause generational success in our nations, please apply the stuff and go out there and make a difference in the environment that you are in. So head on over, or just wait for the next lesson that I'm going to go through, so that you can also do the right thing. Lesson number 5. Don't believe what your situation is telling you. Why? Because some things are not a true reflection of reality. Whenever you make a choice, there is going to be a reaction after you have made that choice. Sometimes you're not going to get the right response from the individuals that you're going and sell to. In my case, when I first went out as a business owner, it took a little bit of a while for me to find out that my initial meeting with my old friend Ashton Huzuk, and the meeting that I had with Lizelle Stradum didn't really turn out the way I thought. I thought partly I was blaming myself for the decisions that I had made. Yes, I do still blame myself. Why? Because I could have done things a little bit differently in the beginning, which would have probably made me think differently. I am a person that believes in people changing, because I don't have a perfect background myself. I've made a lot of bad choices, and I've opened up in my books, you hear it in my talks. It's not sad stories. I'm sharing these things with you so that you can understand that this is where I've come from, and this is the change that I have experienced in my life as a result of making a choice that I'm gonna take responsibility for my life, because at the first thing, I am a leader of my own self, and I need to learn to lead my own life before I can decide to lead other people in the right direction. So if I'm not leading myself in the right direction, I'm definitely influencing other people to walk in the wrong direction. I will be able to do that. For those who don't have a vision for their lives, they will end up following me in the wrong direction, thinking that I'm also going in the right direction. But I'm gonna tell you that you need to believe something else. I would have given up, had I, if I was not mentally stable at the time. Yes, I made some decisions, but I did not stop. When I even made that phone call and that lady laughed at me, I thought, hey, what is going on? What did I do to these people that you can just laugh when I'm phoning to find out about the initial meeting, and what is it that you'll have decided, and the email that I sent to you all about the sponsorship proposal. We spoke so nicely, and especially since I know the person that directed you to me, or sent you information, sent my information, sorry, to her. So I was a little bit confused, and I couldn't understand, why would another human being treat another human being like this? That is point blank wrong. So I decided, okay, I'm not going to believe what I am seeing right here. I'm not going to believe the situation. Why? Because I never come into business for that. I came into business to make a difference in the lives of people. And I decided that since I've seen this, it means that it is a problem that I need to try and solve in the workplace. Why? Because there might be other people experiencing that very same thing. And I have come across other individuals who have experienced similar things. When we're having conversations and you can't really pick up that certain people have been through a lot of struggles. Other people are straightforward. They will just tell you that they were shamed, they were deceived, they were robbed of their ideas, their hard work, their different things that they've put together for their own success. And it's important for us to understand that when you go through something like that, you mustn't feel alone. Why? Because there are a lot of us that have been through it, but we have come out on the other side and decided that we're not going to make these things define who we are. We are not going to make these things decide what lives are we going to live. We have already decided that this is what we're going to do. I've already decided that my vision is to help people become responsible leaders who influence the success of the nation in a positive way, or positively. And one of the experiences that I've had is a negative influence, and I can't tolerate that. Why? Because it's a hindrance to what I'm trying to achieve in the marketplace. And I believe there are a lot of people that desire that. Why? Because even if that lady did not touch their lives, or Ashton did not touch their lives, my life was touched, and it's going to affect certain people around me, and those people are going to go out there and affect those people that they come into contact with. And we can't allow things like that in the marketplace. We can't allow behavior like that to stay in our environments, especially if we are working towards a goal that has everybody in mind, and that has the collective doing positive things so that the nation can be successful. And we don't want to have individuals like that doing things that are gonna diminish or lower our efforts. That's not acceptable. I don't wanna talk about all the other things that I've experienced, and I've decided because I've experienced all of these things, it's possible that God was showing me what is lying underneath the rugs. I came in with a lot of high energy. I came in with a lot of high hopes. I came in believing in the principles that I have learned about the business world, only to find that there are people within the marketplace that are not good for the marketplace. They're only there to destroy. They might be achieving success, but along the way, there are a lot of lives that are being destroyed. And we're finding that people are getting accolades, people are achieving results, that they're saying they're achieving results. But when we analyze all of the information, all the data that we collect about the marketplace or the economy, we find that yes, this is not matching up. So many people are achieving success, they are touching so many lives, but why is it our nation is not showing those results? There's something wrong. And Now, I'm not an economist. I'm just using my perspective. I'm looking at it from my own research that I have done, and I stand to be corrected because I'm a student as well of life, and I do stand to be corrected about that. But I believe that there are so many people boasting about the lives that they have touched, yet there are no results showing in our nation of these lives being touched. When I count the numbers that certain organizations pull out there about, especially in the youth space, where the 70% of youth are unemployed, but when you count these numbers, you look, these people are saying that they've touched so many lives, but why is it our economy is suffering and it cannot find a place for our young people? There's something wrong. So I believe it's a very huge task, and a lot of people are going to try and keep you out, and I believe that you have to make a choice that you are going to fight for what is rightfully yours. For me, I'm not from the suburbs, as you call it. I'm from Lokshin, where we call it the location. I grew up with two parents. If you read my story, you'll understand that I don't come from a rich home, so I had to work for the stuff that I've had. There have been opportunities my parents have tried to create for me. Sometimes I made the wrong choices, and there were times where I needed to just sit down and analyze how I'm going to move forward from the difficulties that were put before me. But in the end, I did come out. Why? Because I'm standing here today as somebody that has learned a lot from the experiences that I have had. I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I have made. If you can minimize the effects, it will be a little bit better for you, if you get what I'm talking about. Hopefully, in the near future, you will come back and tell me, this one thing that you said has changed my life. But if all of the stuff that I've said helps to transform your life and to get you out of your difficult situation. Many people are in a difficult situation right now, and those people need to be put back on their feet. We mustn't accept a defeat. We mustn't accept failure. The struggles that we are going through right now are temporary, but if you're going to make a permanent choice for a temporary experience or situation, you are going to have permanent problems, permanent results. If you decide to give up, you might permanently decide to be a failure in that particular thing. So don't give up, stand strong, and then keep pressing on. But remember, you need to do the work as well to make sure that you don't believe the situation as voice. My particular situation was telling me, you are not at this level. This is mine. I'm gonna take it, and I'm gonna use my network to actually get what I want from you, through you, because I deserve it more than you. At the end of the day, I was the one that put the work in. I was the one that came with the idea, and I was the one who deserves the reward. There are other things that I've experienced which I've shared in my book. I'm not trying to be first. The ultimate book 2 of the Ultimate Productivity Quest series. So there's not only stories, but I told y'all in the first book, this life is not for me. I'm going to share the good, the bad, and the ugly from the quest that I was on. We are still on a quest. We are still on a journey. All of us have to speak about our experiences so that other people can be able to learn from us. So I want to encourage you again today. Do not believe what the situation is telling you. It wants you to doubt your ability. It wants you to lose your hope that you have in a better future. It wants you to not attain the success that you want to attain. In our nation, there are a lot of problems. I'm going to tell you that there are a lot of problems in this particular area. I've met a lot of people, and the corruption is rife. We need to get rid of that. I believe some of the people are not good for our nation. And I'm going to be open because this is somebody I know. I was disappointed actually in his behavior. Why? Because of the experience we had in 2009. I thought, hey, let me give you the benefit of the doubt. But I was a slap in the face, So I had to take it as a man, just take the punch or take whatever it is that was being thrown at me and say, okay, God, I'm gonna use the situation to transform the lives of people, even if I get into trouble for speaking the truth, because people came and speak to me. There's no way you can treat somebody that you know. And what's the funny part? He still had the nerve to go and tell people that I know that I am bad news. Who is bad news? At the end of the day, this is the world that we are living in. The ones that do wrong make the ones who they've wronged as the problems in society. I remember I still went and I spoke to him after a while, and I approached him and I told him, hey, what you did was wrong. And he was with somebody else and he told me I'm going mad. He told me I'm losing my mind. I told him, hey, you're gonna see what's going mad, and I walked away because I could feel my blood boiling. So I decided, okay, let me just walk away. And we spoke over LinkedIn. He told me, hey, I've never been your friend. I'm not your friend. Something like that. And I told him, can you see who's going mad? So that's our conversation. He put an MXM there. He said, well, what are you talking? And then he also asked me once, over Facebook, the book that you wrote, is it about me? And I know he has that desire, to have people follow him, because he's older than me. He's about 6 years or 5 years older than me. He finished school in 96. I finished in 2001. 5 years apart. So I know he has that desire to be a leader. But the methods that he is using in order to brand himself as a leader are wrong. Those are not things that I need to be following. Why? Because I don't want to do that to other people, and I don't want other people to experience the same thing. I know this week I'm using other things. This week on Sunday I spoke about other experiences when I was speaking about faithfulness on my podcast, the Bread Basket Show. So, but this is something very, very important for us to grasp. We are in a season where we are seeing this live, and that situation could have been sorted out in the beginning. I say that if things like this here are not removed, they get swept under the carpet. One wind must blow, and when the carpet is lifted, we are going to see things happening. With the looting and all of the stuff that is happening, it's the environment, it's the norm in South Africa to do things like this here. And because we have leaders in the hierarchy, I'm not going to blame one individual, because it's not one individual that is doing this here. It's a corporate body of people that is doing this here. and they are doing it because they only think about themselves. I don't have a perfect past. I've tried to make amends with all the things that I've done, and I try my best to live according to what the Lord tells us to do. And if I can see I'm vying in the wrong direction, I try and correct myself. But I love South Africa. At one stage, I felt like leaving. I felt like this was not my home because of the things I was experiencing wherever I was going. But God has a plan for this nation, and God has a plan for the people in this country. I don't want to be going into preaching, but I'm going to tell you, God has a plan for your life as well. I don't believe this is a coincidence that you are listening to this here today. And if you see my eyes rolling that side, I'm just looking at people. Remember, I'm in my community. The people that are walking past know me. Some of them are greeting me. They might think I'm being rude to them, because I'm standing in the shop. Hopefully they won't think that. Maybe I'll direct them to my YouTube channel to see that I was busy as they were walking past. But I'm not going to stop working because people feel that they can just do whatever it is that they want to do. I've given my life to this, and I'm willing to go through whatever challenges that they bring my way. I have been through a lot of challenges already, but I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid, and I know that you're not going to be afraid as well because you love your nation. I made an example about the Americans, the American dream. What is our dream here in South Africa? What dream do you have for this nation? What is the corporate dream that we have for Martin Luther said he has a dream, but there is an American dream, and everybody that goes to their country knows about the American dream. We don't have to copy them, but we can learn from the successes of other nations and other countries like Canada and all these other countries that are doing a little bit better than us. We can learn from them so that we can make our nation a good nation as well. So not only speaking about the Americans, there are other countries doing well as well. If you don't like America, I don't have qualms about any other country. It's just that certain leaders in those countries are bad for the world as well, and they're bad for their nations. Like the people that are bad for us here in our economy, we need to also change that. So you might look at them achieving success, but don't think there isn't a trail of destruction that is behind him. And I'm gonna say it for the last time, and I have a concern because it's somebody I know. I cannot harden my heart, about people. I have a concern, especially since I've seen it for myself again. So many years after we had that experience in 2008 when Broader Equity closed down. You can't have an individual still behaving like that. Many years, it's more than 12 years from that time, and the behavior hasn't changed. So that muscle is even stronger now than it was before when we experienced that. And we don't want to strengthen the wrong muscles. We want to strengthen the right ones that are going to help develop the nation in a positive way. Your life mustn't only flourish. There must be a win-win-win situation. In my case, when I'm going out, especially if I'm looking for sponsorships, and he would have read the sponsorship proposal. I spoke about it in that proposal, and I said, you win, well, the company that he was working for wins. I win, the company that I own, you the one that you're going to sponsor, and the people that I'm going and speak to, whom you also want to influence, are also going to win because we are partnering together to help these people And we're not going to leave them just like that. Why? Because they are going to have something they're going to take to transform their own lives and the lives of the people in their family. So this is what I'm talking about. So there mustn't only be one winner, or only the two of us must win and the other people must suffer once we've walked away. That's not the way to live life. But we have to do it in the right way. So if you're hearing sounds, that's my Twitter feed coming to tell me that there's a tweet that has come on. So I'm on social media. I haven't tweeted in a long time. I haven't used my Instagram in a long time. I've been fairly focusing about my LinkedIn, but I'm gonna go back on there and just tweet something. I've been even thinking about deactivating those two platforms, but I'll see. I decided I was, but let me give it some time and see. I've deactivated my Facebook and I don't miss it at all. I don't miss it. There's no censorship and all of this stuff that I've always experienced. I'm even feeling a little bit better because social media can become addictive, and we don't want that to happen to us. It's been, I've got a little bit more time on my hands to do other things that I want to do. So I'm gonna go on to the next video, and or the next lesson. It's fairly long, but I believe it's gonna change your life. So don't give up now. Okay, we just got two more lessons that I've learned that you are gonna walk away with. Number 6, some relationships must not be developed. Why am I saying that? You remember I told you that I went and approached Ashton Hurzuk. Now I went to CCI. I know that he was working there at CCI. You had work with CCI and with CareerBox. So they employ for CCI. They are the recruitment agents for CCI. So they were in one building now, and I went there and I looked for Ashton just to have a chat with him, just say, you know what, my old friend, hey, I really don't like what you did, and I'm not gonna leave it. I'm gonna pursue this thing until we rectify this matter. But they told me he's no longer working there, and I walked away. I phoned one of the guys to find out, okay, where's this guy working? And the guy told me, hey, I don't know this guy. He's got too many lies, he says one thing, then he talks about another thing. As soon as I finished the phone call, I was walking in Gateway and he pulls into the parking lot. Is that a coincidence? So I don't know. Maybe he was in the building, they were watching me walking, or maybe somebody must have highlighted to him that I am in the area. But he came as I was walking at Gateway, and he called me by my nickname. That's one of the indicators. But I saw the guy that he was with actually passed away. So he posted up, rest in peace to the guy that he was with in the car. I don't know if it was the same. Yeah, but it looked like the same guy that he had posted on Facebook when I still had my Facebook account. So I told him about how I felt, and he told me, you know what, you're going off your head. But one of the things he said to me, he asked me, am I coming to, talk about a deal and stuff, and he was rubbing his hands to say, well, hey, you coming in. But I said, no, hey, I can't do business with you. You are not trustworthy. I'm never gonna do business with that kind of guy. I know I'm gonna make it in life. God is good. I don't need people like that to actually lift me up, because they come with agendas. So I've even spoken to a couple of guys that I know from the past that I was interacting with. I had a few guys. I warned them, and I even said, hey, you might get something from this guy, but it comes with strings attached, and you're gonna walk away unhappy. Even if you get what you want, you might get it for a while, but end of the day, your soul, you see, my soul is also as important to me. My peace is important to me. I don't want to be going through the wrong experiences over and over. I gave him a chance, and I decided, no, this relationship doesn't need to be developed, especially this kind of business relationship. Why? Because I don't want to be doing business with people I do not trust. I've had a bad experience with you, and instead of you actually doing the right thing and rectifying the problem, you still tried to make me look bad and to go and tarnish my name to the people that know me as a bad thing. It's not good. Maybe he was doing it so that my credibility is lowered and I don't get too bad mouth. I wasn't even going to talk about him. The information came to me, so I didn't go and ask for the people to come and tell me all of this stuff. But I know that certain relationships are not supposed to be developed. And I've been listening to quite a few guys, and I was reading one copywriter today. He's a very well-known copywriter, that he was talking about his own experiences with some certain customers. And some clients are not your clients. They are just there to try and teach you a lesson. That client was trying to teach him a lesson on copywriting. But some clients are not actually clients. They are just coming to project their own pride upon you, and so that relationship doesn't need to be developed, even though it has so many contacts. I'm not dependent on man. At the end of the day, God found me with nothing, and He is the one that has been slowly building my life to the life that He wants me to love. And I am patient enough to wait upon the Lord to do that thing for me. I'm in business, and my business is going to flourish the way God wants it to flourish. And I'm not ashamed of where I am right now. Why? Because my heart is at peace. My heart is at peace. That's the main thing for me. My heart is at peace. The blessings that He has given to me are good. They add no sorrow to my life. And once I've appreciated that, I'm gonna go to the next level when the time is right. And I believe you will also be able to do that once you start to embrace the season that you are currently in, and be confident enough to say you are going to get to the next level. I wasn't here at one stage. I was with nothing, on drugs, with alcohol. I had no work, and I wanted to get out of that situation. That was my focus at that time, getting out of that situation, and I got out of it. And now I am here. Challenges will always be there. It's just how we respond to those challenges that will determine where we are. I might not be where I am envisioning myself to be. I've done a lot with my life in the 11 years that I decided to walk a different direction from the time when I was taking drugs and alcohol. It hasn't been an easy walk, but I'm 4 books later, which I have published. You can get those books at Payhip or at different places that I've put them up. You can even drop me an email to find out how you can get hold of those books, or join my mailing list. I usually send some emails and other correspondence so that you can get hold of me. My email address will be at the end of this video, and my website address will be at the end of this video, and my website address will be at the bottom on the description, so you will be able to get hold of that. But you must apply the stuff that I am talking to you about. You will overcome your situation. We are not talking about only attaining money. Money is good. Yes, it's good. It changes our lives. It helps us to live good lives. But me, I focus on the whole person. Your character is also important. Why? Because character sustains you for the longevity. If you want to stay in the game long enough, your character will keep you there. It's not your talent or the gifts. We are all talented people, but we also need to develop the right character, and that will influence other people when they see how our character is. I'm not perfect, and I'm open to correction sometimes, and people correct me, and I might fight it. But when I'm sitting by myself, I sit and I think, oh, hey, you know what, this person is right. And I usually go back to people and I tell them, hey, you know what, you are right. I need to change this area in my life. But that's why I do things like this. I can't be telling you to apply certain things that are going to change your life, and I'm not going to do it myself. I'm not going to pretend to you. I'm not going to act like I am this super perfect person. No, I'm not. I make mistakes, but I get up every single day and I work on myself. And you're also going to do that so that you can come out of the current situation that you are in. Me, I know I'm going to achieve the things that I want to achieve. Why? Because I was able to put out all of the stuff that I've already put out. And I know my stuff is touching the lives of people. I've seen the people that I've helped. I've seen them applying some of the things. And I can see, no, hey, the stuff that I taught you is working. Even though some of them, they don't want to come back and say, you know what, brother, you helped me, man. I really appreciate it. I was doing it for free for some of them I charged, but the stuff that you're learning today is gonna transform your life. I know that. Don't ever give up. Don't develop those relationships that are going. See, with him, I don't hate him. I have to forgive. It's for my own goodness. I don't hate Lazelle. I don't hate people like them that do things like that. But I will not tolerate it in front of me. And if I can make a difference in the lives of people that have been through similar situations or experiences like myself, I'm going to do it because they have to be able to come out of that. Maybe you've been through the similar things as me, and you're sitting there and you've decided you don't want to do anything else, and you feel like you are forced to develop certain relationships in the business world. Mark my words, they will not fall to the ground. They will happen. You need to be patient. You'd rather not develop those relationships. Why? Because you're going to put yourself in a vicious circle. You might have to do the very same things that person is doing in order to achieve the success that person is achieving. So don't lose hope. Don't be impatient. Just wait. It's getting a little bit dark in here. I'm still waiting for lights from ESCOM, so I have to wait. I've been waiting for 2 years from the municipality to come and put lights in our area. They have put lights for certain people. We're still waiting. And I put an application out at ESCOM last week. So I'm waiting. They said they should be back. Give me feedback within 30 days as to whether my thing was approved or not. I want to do the right thing. Why? Because I'm talking about responsible leadership, and it is the responsible thing to follow what the Lord says. And one of the things is they must come and do it for me. This is out of my hands. I've taken the steps to actually apply for the electricity to be taken from their pole and into my place. So I have no other choice. So I know some of you are saying, what kind of motivational speaker is this living in darkness? I'm that kind of motivational speaker. and I live in candlelight. Sometimes I use a light that I charge, and I don't use anything else. I'm gonna wait. I tried looking for a generator recently, and I just never work out. Some of them are too expensive. Hey, let me wait. The ball is gonna roll, the ball is gonna roll. I know I'm gonna get out of this like you're gonna get. I'm not in a bad situation. The government can't, ESCOM can speed up, but I'll wait, and when they come, things are gonna change. I will be able to do more videos, so I will be able to have better lighting. I could have done it earlier, but I decided I'm going to do it like this, and you get to experience some of the good things that are happening. I know this situation is not bad for me. I can look around my life and I say, Ebenezer, look at what God has done for me. Read the books and you will understand. We are fighting a war. Remember that you every single day you get up, and a warrior doesn't give up. You don't give up no matter what. And if I don't make it to achieve all of the things I want to achieve in my life, you are going to achieve some of the things that you want to achieve in your life, and you're going to influence other people to never give up, to do the right thing. I'm getting to that now. I'm going to go into details why you don't need to give up. I'm going to give you the details why you don't need to give up. You have to stand strong. I'm not talking like somebody that I'm showing you that I'm doing it. I'm not giving up. You shouldn't give up. I'm just thinking about those people that send videos, those terrorist videos. The guys will show you we are still here, even though they're in the deserts or in places, broken down places. We are in a war as well. It's a different kind of war we are fighting, and it's an economic war. It's a war for freedom, financial freedom, and the powers that be out there want to stifle our lives. Why? Because they have a different agenda. Now you have to take responsibility for your own life and make the choices that are going to get you out of your current situation. Mine is to help you, and as I'm helping people as the sales experts for Zig Ziglar, the more people I help, the more money I can make. But it's not about money, actually. I believe this is a life calling for me. This is why I do it, is because I know the experiences that I have been through. They are not only bad experiences, they are good experiences. I'm telling you to make the right choices. Why? Because I know the good side of it. You mustn't give up. Don't develop certain relationships. You can love people from a distance. Why? Because some people are not ready to have you in their lives because they are at a different place. They want to live that particular way. They want to do business a particular way. And if you're going to be involved with those people, you are bound to experience certain pitfalls in your life. So do not develop those business relationships. If you see the person around in a business way, you just don't go near that kind of client because you are not going to be happy when you walk away. Probably he's doing business with other people and they are happy to do business with him. But for me, he is not my client. Those people are not my clients. And I've been pondering, should I continue to pursue this money that they probably received with the information that I sent to them. I'm going to be speaking to a group of lawyers that I signed up to, and see if they're going to be able to help me. And I'll let you know how it turned out. Why? Because we are on a quest, and even if it doesn't work out, do not give up. Life is full of twists and turns. If the human hand cannot help you, the hand of God will help you. I believe that. I'm not only talking about natural things. There is a spiritual world, and there is a God in heaven that can assist you if you have done everything that you need to do, and you are doing the right thing to live on the right path. The hand of God will help you. I guarantee you. So we've come to the last lesson. It's not the least, but it's the last lesson. Number 7. Lesson number 7. Never give up.